Hello again, everybody. Wayback Sports Cards. Today we're going to open up some 1990 Pro Set Series 1. You see a stack of packs over here. I got 30 of them I'm going to open. I purchased an unsealed box with all 36 packs originally in the box. I paid $19 after shipping on eBay. So I got a really good deal on these. And I think you'll see there's not a whole lot of value in here, although there's a few cards that we could pull that could have some value. So let's see what we do here. I opened a few packs off to the side. The box is pretty beat up, so that's why you have just the loose packs here. You got your instant win card in every pack. We're not going to really spend much time on those. The one per pack Super Bowl collectibles card. So this features looks like the program for Super Bowl II. Pretty nice artwork there. And then I'll turn it over. Also, describes what happened in the game. So Super Bowl II, won by the Packers, who also won Super Bowl I. You see the ring and a little bit of info about the particular game there. So up to this point, this set commemorates Super Bowls 1 through 24. A couple of Hall of Famers, Randall McDaniel. We've got Don Shula, the great Don Shula. Love the background there. Mike Ditka, another Hall of Famer. So interesting that we're hitting so many Hall of Famer. Franco Harris, Chris Carter, Phil Simms. Really solid pack right out the box. And 378 cards make up this Series 1. 69 NFL Hall of Famers, or I should say Pro Football Hall of Famers, because Mervyn Fernandez is a Canadian Football Hall of Famer. But 68 Football Hall of Famers in the set. So that's 69 Hall of Famers in the set. That makes up 18% of the set. Super Bowl, we've got 17, Redskins, Dolphins. So I just like looking at those because we get to see the evolution of the programs and the rings, for that matter. Ricky Jackson, another great player. Eric Allen, Christian Okoye, Joe Montana. I believe this is, it's card 293. So there you go. Take a look at the back. My corner is a little ding there, unfortunately. But there it is. There's the back of the card. I like the color scheme. Matches the team. Complete career stats, personal stats, another color photo, blurb. Pretty comprehensive. It's a junk wax set, but Pro Set always does a really good job with these cards. So I always think Pro Set for junk wax era, whether it's football or hockey, or even golf, they do a really good job with the designs. There we go, Super Bowl VII, back in 1973, Dolphins, Redskins. So there are a bunch of errors and corrections in this set. Montana card number 2 is one of them. But there's really doesn't seem to be much of a difference online. Love that old starter jacket there, Buddy Ryan. Doesn't seem to be too much of a difference in the price between the error and the corrections, really for any of the players in Series 1, even the Montana. So there are errors, there are corrections. We're not really going to spend too much time there because there's really not much of a value difference. There are several notable rookie cards in Series 1. Ken Norton Jr., Nate Odoms, John Alt, good players. Not what I would call a key rookie card. There's Super Bowl 13, Steelers, Cowboys, and then we got Barry Sanders as well. This is second year Barry Sanders. And you can see these cards, kind of hard, I think, to get PSA 10s out of these. You can see the edges look a little rough. So I don't know. I should check PSA to see how many 10s are out there for these base cards. Not that they would command a high value, but does seem hard to pull there. There's Bob Greasy, card number 12. So didn't get to the inserts. Actually, no, this is not an insert. This is just a regular Hall of Fame. This is part of the base set. Bob Greasy. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1990. As I'm dropping cards. So, inserts. There's a Paul Tagliabue commemorative collectible card. I don't know if they call it that. I don't know that it's necessarily collectible. eBay prices don't seem to suggest that. Maybe a buck or two. It's a one-off card. Then there's also a one-off card of Payne Stewart. It's called Pro Set Special. I guess it's a tie-in with the Pro Set golf cards. There's Super Bowl IV, Chiefs over Vikings. So the Payne Stewart card's a one-off. Does go for a couple of bucks. Santa Claus, if you're asking, because Pro Set did feature Santa in a few of their sets. Santa shows up in the Series 2 1990 Pro Set packs. So you're not going to find him here. Just for those who are interested. There's Joe Montana, Player of the Year card. So that's our second different Montana. And that's another really plus for me about Pro Set. Second year Deion Sanders. But I love that about Pro Set. You know, they have Player of the Year. They show the Hall of Famers. So you really get a good chance of pulling at least of the best players. Sometimes you get 2 or even 3 cards of those top players, which if you're not going to get any inserts, I certainly want to see a few of, my favorite players. So from a collectible standpoint there, that's a big plus. Getting back to the inserts, actually I'll stop here. Speaking of inserts, Super Bowl 21, Giants over Broncos. You can see the evolution of the ring there. The Super Bowl collectibles, 1 per pack. The key insert here is the Lombardi Trophy hologram, numbered to 10,000, which doesn't seem like a real short print, but love that sweater. I'm going to stop on that. And there's Dan Marino. All right, as the dogs are barking in the background. But the Lombardi Trophy hologram card, numbered to 10,000. I just saw earlier today raw copies of that card are selling for over $160 on eBay. A raw version of a card that comes out of Pro Set. A PSA 7 sold on eBay for $242. Kevin Green taking out Phil Simms there. A PSA 7 sold for $242, which is kind of ridiculous for a, in my opinion, for anything that could possibly come out of a pack of Pro Set. But yeah, PSA 7 sold for $242. Then I went to PSA and I was like, what's the population count on this card? Only 279 of the hologram Lombardi trophies have been sent to PSA for grading. None have received a PSA 10 grade. So that explains why the PSA 7 is coveted. Only 39 of the 279 cards have received a grade of a 9. So the grades are like across the board. So I don't know if we're going to be fortunate enough to pull one out of here, as we just pull our third Dan Marino already, which if we're going to pull multiples of anybody, I'm happy that it is Dan Marino. There's Super Bowl III, Jets Colts. The guarantee speech there from Joe Namath, Hall of Famer Joe Namath. Probably one of the first big Super Bowl moments. Namath kind of putting Super Bowl on the map. Jim Kelly there. And Pro Set, you can see the color schemes are great. They match the team colors. The photos are pretty good. They're not like top stadium club good, but solid action photos here. Did a real nice job. There's Super Bowl one program there. They called it the World Championship Game, AFL versus NFL. And there is Super Bowl one trophy, the Packers ring. So, Chris Spielman, Steve Jordan, Marty Schottenheimer. Great shots of the jackets and the sweaters. Love that. Mark Rippon, Warren Moon. League leader, punt return leader. There's Ken Norton Jr. rookie card right there. Like I said, not a super high price card, but probably one of the more notable rookie cards in Series 1. Of course, his father, world heavyweight boxing champion, Michael Irvin there. But yeah, I was really shocked about the hologram part of this set and how it's such a sought after card. I really didn't think anything coming out of these sets would be super sought after, but there's Super Bowl II again. Like, I love the coach cards. You really get to see, is that a championship ring? You got a starter jacket at least. Jerry Rice. Put Jerry up. Andre Ware. This is his rookie card. Obviously didn't quite pan out. Carl Banks. But yeah, Andre Ware was probably the biggest name in this set. Everybody thought that was going to be the card everybody was going to want 30, 40, 50 years from now. Unfortunately, didn't pan out. There's Super Bowl 15. Great shot there of the Lombardi trophy there. So Oakland being the first wild card team to win the Super Bowl in 1981. Andre Reed. Great close-up shots there. Derek Thomas. And another Joe Montana. So, again, 18% of the base set has Hall of Famers. 69 of the cards feature Hall of Famers. And, they showed Greasy. They have him in the set. I think they have Franco Harris in the set. So they also commemorate those who just went to Canton the year before. Really cool program here. Super Bowl 14 in Pasadena. Steelers over the Rams. I like the old hoodie there. Jerry Burns. The old team merch. The old team stuff looks just fantastic. Got to take some time here to appreciate that. Hall of Fame selection, Bob St. Clair. Andre Rison. Is that second year? It is second year. He's still with the Colts. Didn't find his way to Atlanta quite yet. There's Bill Sims. And it looks like we got another Montana. So the collation's not great here. Definitely would not be able to complete a whole set, I think. There's the Super Bowl 7. I think we've seen that already. Actually, I think most of this pack, marker out. I don't think we've seen Marv Levy yet. Sorry. Call him Mark. And another Joe Montana. This one maybe a little better condition than the other, but so we've seen a bunch of Montanas. You've seen a few, I think 3 Marinos at this point. If we get lucky enough, really, to me, I'm really hoping and looking for the hologram of the Lombardi Trophy, if we get that lucky. Again, I like to spend time looking at those Super Bowl cards. Troy Aikman's second year. Anthony Munoz. Montana in the background there, obscured by Harris Barton. We got Bo in the background of that. Steve Wisniewski kind of clearing the way for Bo Jackson. Chuck Noll just finishing up his tenure with the Steelers. Bill Cowher would come in a few short years after this. Franco Harris, Hall of Fame selection. And another Randall Cunningham. The packs here are all the plastic garbage bag variety. Mervin Fernandez, mentioned him earlier. Super Bowl 23, 1989, Niners Bengals. And I think we've seen a lot of these players already. I skipped. No, I didn't. Stephon Page, Ray Perkins. He's got Buccaneer pants. That's kind of cool. A poorly cut Jack Party, although it's cut perfectly on the back. Interesting. So maybe it was not poorly cut after all, it was poorly printed, is maybe what we should be saying there. We got Super Bowl 11, Raiders, Vikings. John L. Williams, Mark Clayton, Jumbo Elliott, Steve Atwater, Barry Sanders, Rookie of the Year card. So we got two different Barry Sanders out of here as well, which is nice. Always nice to see multiple cards of those top players. We've got Super Bowl 18, Raiders, Redskins. There's the John Alt rookie card. Keith Jackson, very dark shot there. Barry Sanders once again on the Rookie of the Year. So for a 378 card set, we're not getting a lot of variation here. Bob Golick, Super Bowl 23, which we did see. Dan Reeves, who's passed on in the last few years. Pat Swilling. Bruce Smith, Pro Bowl. It's one we have not seen. Now we got Super Bowl 15, which we did see earlier. Troy Benson, pretty cool shot there. Lindy Infante, Coach of the Year. Got the Magic Man, Dom Ejkowski there on the right. LT, collecting yet another sack in his career. Try to rescue these cards from the pack without wrecking them. Neil Smith, Jim Lachey. Got Super Bowl 11, which we have seen. Sam White. Ted Hendricks, Hall of Fame selection. Phil Simms again. As we kind of get down to the home stretch here, the last maybe 7 packs. 8 if we're counting this one. Got another Bob Golick, who would be on Saved by the Bell, the new class. Super Bowl 7. Mark Rippon twice in the same pack. Rod Woodson. Another Bruce Smith. As the dogs continue to bark in my house here. I'll bark at anything outside the window. Every pack here seems to start with the Bob Golick. Got Super Bowl 5, which we have not seen. Colts Cowboys. I like that ring a lot. Troy Aikman there. Mark Rippon for about the 5th time. Joe Montana, passing leader, which is different from the player of the year. So 3rd, different Montana, like that. Love the Cardinal sweater on Joe Bugle. Dan Henning with the great Chargers jacket. Not Golick starting off this pack. We got Super Bowl 4. Chiefs Vikings. Jim Everett, Jerry Burns, Stephon Page, Ozzie Newsome, Franco Harris yet again. And we're going to keep going here. Henry Thomas, defensive tackle in the end zone. All glory to him there. We've got interesting here. Commemorative NFL collectible for Super Bowl 24. Niners rout Broncos 55-10. Have not seen that in here. Got another Montana Player of the Year. Dog's trying to ruin my video here. Darrell Green, fastest man in the league. Super Bowl 2 card. Mongo, who just recently passed on. Rest in peace, Mongo. Hall of Famer as well. Bo Jackson, all right, we got a Bo. Steve DeBerg. Boomer. All right, Darrell Grant, another Super Bowl 2. Mark Rippon for about the 5th time as well. Jim Jensen, who we just saw in the last pack, so we're just getting a lot of similar cards here. Although we did get a lot of the big names. Super Bowl 14, which we did see that card. Vinny Testaverde. Rod Woodson, kickoff leader again. Jimmy Johnson, like that. He had not won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys yet, so that might be a college. Not sure what ring that is. Let me know in the comments if you know. I'm thinking a college football championship ring of some kind. Super Bowl 4. Bernie Kosar. Joe Montana passing leader. So we've got quite a few Montanas out of this box. And we're going to go to the final pack. So I don't think a Lombardi hologram is in our future here, but we do have like our 5th or 6th Bob Golick Super Bowl 1 commemorative card. Bill Fralick, Gary Anderson, Tim Worley, Ron Morris, Warren Moon, Man of the Year. So this is, I believe, before it was called the Walter Payton Man of the Year, of course. That didn't happen until much later. We got a Ken Norton rookie card. We got a Phil Simms and a Wilbur Marshall to wrap us up. So 30 of the 36 packs we just shared with you. Pulled quite a few different Montanas: passing leader, NFL player of the year, the base card, player of the year, passing leader. So we got duplicates of basically the 3 Montana cards. We did get a Bo Jackson, I think like a 4th year Bo Jackson. There's the back of the Bo. A couple of Barry Sanders cards, rookie of the year. We got Jerry Rice base, Barry Sanders base. We got the Dion 2nd year base card. But really a stack of just, Ken Norton rookie, a couple of those. But a lot of the key Hall of Famers: Troy Aikman 2nd year, Phil Simms, LT. So we did pretty well. Like I said, 18% of the set has Hall of Famers in it, so we did really well there. But as always, let me know what you think. Have you had these cards? Do you remember these? What are your memories? Let me know. I'd love to talk with you about it. But until next time, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day, everyone. So long.